Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United Direction, the channel for Manchester United and global football fans. Today we are talking with all the people and all our contributors. We are talking with the UK crew and the USA crew. Joining us today is Sammy from Houston Red Army. Sammy, the analyst. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Also representing Houston Red Army is Joe the Soul Man. Joe, welcome to the show.
What's going on, fellas? What's up? What's up?
And we have the last one representing Houston Red Army, and the controversial one, the one we all know as Bems, who is not going to say United will not win the title till the Glazers are out. Bems, welcome on.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Right. And represent the sole representative of UK is Vimy. Vimy, welcome to the show.
Good evening from the Old Trafford Centre in Manchester. I'm just kidding. I'm in London.
People said this comeback yesterday against Brentford can be compared to the comeback against Bayern Munich in the Champions League 1999. An overstatement, understatement, but it was a comeback at all proportions at Old Trafford. United were literally about to lose another home game, but they found a way through the one and only McTominay, and United found 3 points and 2 goals in 4 minutes, 93rd and 97th minute. You have a minute to analyze quickly what you thought about that game. I'm going to start with Sammy.
Hello. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good game at the end because we kind of came back from 1 goal behind and then scored 2 goals in the Fergie time. I can't emphasize more that it was great to see Scotty score 2 goals after maybe he came back at like 87 minutes and scored 2 goals and took us to that the much needed 3 points that we needed. It is not a very easy win for us because throughout the game we did not perform well or did not feel like we can win the game. But it is what it is. Sometimes people might disagree with me, but it kind of reminded me of 1999 Champions League final where we kind of literally scored 2 goals in the Fergie time to just win the trophy. So, but overall, I'm happy that we got 3 points. Hopefully, this comeback win be a moral booster in the next forthcoming weeks, and we'll perform well and after the international break.
Right, Vim. Thank you, Sammy. Vim, your take on that game, that comeback.
Yeah, Scott McTominay said he watched the Beckham documentary the night before. Maybe he did watch that Champions League final too. But to be honest, I mean, yeah, it was a good win, but I don't really think we deserved to win it. To be honest, we played pretty rubbish football throughout the 90 minutes. Very sloppy, no movement, very static players, very cautious play. You didn't see many incisive passing going on. Mason Mount was disappointing as well, to be honest. Casemiro disappointing, Rashford disappointed, who I all thought should have come off earlier. I don't see players taking enough risks. Bruno does take risks, which is good, but Dalot surprisingly had a good game. He was quite attack-minded, and for me, all changed when Garnacho and Anthony came on. Then it came alive. Really, we should be starting with that type of intensity from the beginning. So we've got to see more of that. Otherwise, it was not a convincing win at all, apart from Mr. McTominay. So thank you for that.
Right, Benzi.
Yeah, man, it was a very poor performance for a complete 90 minutes. I mean, I was pretty much writing the game off. I was like, oh yeah, it's done. And then Scott McTominay comes on and scores 2 goals to win win United. He's the sole reason why we won that game yesterday. I mean, I'm very worried. I mean, I'm not gonna get very excited with this win, because it was a lucky win, if you ask me. But terrible. I mean, it's good. It shows that the players are still fighting for the manager, because the reactions after the win was just huge. But there's huge question marks, still big issues. Ten Hag has a lot of decisions to make on the players he's gonna trust and play. But man, we are just lucky, man. We are lucky. I don't put it on. I don't have confidence that we'll go and win the next game, though, regardless. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you, Ben. Joey, the soul man, Mr. Positive. You must have been busting splits when United scored the 2 goals. Or you were just like, whatever.
Actually, to be honest, I have to come clean about this. I turned that shit off in the 89th minute. Yo, listen.
To be hard.
I had a whole afternoon set up, right? I invited my mother to come see me. I'm cooking. I'm thinking I gotta make sure the dishes are right. I'm cooking Nigerian now, so I gotta make sure stuff is right. I got the right ingredients and everything. So I'm thinking, so I've already delayed myself 2 hours because of this team. And I've been watching this game, right? And you know what ended me? When Martial's goal, right? When he flicked it, when that went offside, I'm like, nah, it's not us. It's not us today. Click. And then I just started doing my errands. Right? That said, I know we got 6 seconds left. The entire game was a freaking abysmal. We didn't deserve the win. I can't believe some of us are getting gassed off a smash and grab with freaking Brentford. So like, let's take the good win, but like this was a terrible, terrible day for Manchester United. I'm glad we avoided the history or whatever, but yeah, that's it.
So, I mean, yes, we can all say it was Brentford, it was not Bayern Munich, it wasn't Liverpool, what Man City is Brentford. But because of the state of where Manchester United are today, that was a much needed win, which should catapult the mindset to the next level. Like, it can be done because Brentford were literally already rubbing their hands like, we got this. Because what Brentford did was play the playbook of Crystal Palace, score one, low block, come and break us down. United were clueless till the changes were made. Congrats to the substitutes. I thought Garnacho was a beast. I thought Anthony looked a bit rusty. I thought Scotty summarized it. But those substitutions were pivotal to that win. Now, there were some players who were abysmal. I want to ask you guys, who were your worst 3 players through that game? I'm going to start with you, Vim.
Lindelof, man. I'm getting sick and tired of watching that pathetic defender keep doing this, gets the ball, doesn't know what to do. He's absolutely useless. He's got no power in legs. He can't clear the ball. He's got poor decision making. That guy needs to be sold, man. I can't remember who bought him. Was it Mourinho?
Mourinho.
I've never liked the guy, honestly. I think he's more comfortable playing in midfield than being a defender. I think it's completely abysmal as a defender. In fact, Maguire had a better game than him. Other players, Rashford and Mount, they just don't do it for me, man.
Yeah,
not doing it for me.
Rashford was, I don't know what's going on, mate.
Yeah, Rashford is, in moments he was trying and getting through. Mount is a real problem for me now. What I'm seeing with him is that he doesn't take those risks anymore with those passes. He's always turning back and playing the safe option. He's got to change his game up quick time, man, or he's going to be on the bench for a long time.
Right, Sammy, who were your 3 worst players yesterday? Or were there no bad players for you? Because we were watching it together.
Honestly, I mean, it's kind of like an easy pick for me because I'm going to start with Lindelof too. I agree with Vim, it's just pretty lackluster performance from him. There's no way he looks comfortable on that left back position. He's like very sloppy and he's not marking well. I mean, he's getting manhandled most of the time. So obviously Lindelof is one of my worst players on the pitch in last game. And also I would pick Mason Mount. I mean, I don't think so he had any tangible impact on the midfield. I don't know what the heck he was doing most of the time. I mean, I'm not very convinced with Mason Mount's performance till now. So, I'm going to pick him for sure. And I know, I mean, Onana is just settling down, but I still believe that he could have done better on the first goal. So I would also pick Onana as like one of the worst players on the pitch. I still have confidence in him. I know that he can do better, but just still not there yet.
Right. I'll go with Joey now. Joey, how bad were your 3? Who were your worst 3 players on United's team yesterday?
Worst 3 players, maybe based on expectations. First one, Onana, top of the list, man. That was a very, very, very savable shot. I should have said that. Still looking a little nervous, still looking a little shaky. Second, Casemiro, bro. Casemiro.
He was
Casemiro
abysmal, mate.
is becoming a problem. We thought he was going to get better with Amrabat. Like all over the sudden, it's like they just switched spots. Amrabat now is the one that seems more composed in the midfield, doing all the dirty work, just moving the ball, holding the ball, being pressure ready. Just doing all of that. And because of expectation, Rashford, unfortunately, Rashford is just we're not getting. Damn, it's really between Rashford and Mount because Mount is really just dead right now, man. I cannot he's like another just to me. I don't know if the team needs to change the strategy for him or I'm just not seeing anything coming out of him. So Onana, Casemiro, and a split between Mount and Rashford.
All right, thank you. Bemsy, you will be controversial. Let's hear you. What you say?
Rashford, Casemiro, and I think the last one will be Onana. Mount, yes, Mount didn't play well, but I saw the effort from him, man. He's not been playing well, but the dude has shown a lot of effort, man. That's one thing that I would say that I've seen from Mason Mount. So I'm not one of those people that just that downplays Mason Mount. I actually like the guy. I just wanted for him to click. Yeah, but Rashford terrible. Casemiro is the reason why the beginning of the reason why we conceded that goal. That was terrible. But I mean Casemiro still he's still up there as one of the United's like top players overall. But yeah, so as far as yesterday, he was terrible.
Right. We're now we've had the negative side of United players. We're gonna at least look at the positive side of who players stood out. I mean, we all know where that's. So we're just gonna talk about that one a bit longer. So quickly go into that. For me, I will start with Bems since I ended up with you. You start with who were the players who stood out for yesterday that made the impact that really got us over that line, apart from the goal scorer.
Not including the goal scorer.
You could include him, but other people who integrated that.
I mean, Garnacho, Anthony, was very instrumental in that goal. I would say Martial was made a difference too as well. Obviously, Scott McTominay made a big difference because he scored the 2 goals. Dalot, I think Dalot gave a good account of himself. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but the guy was up and down. You can see he was really. To me, if I would say there was one player on that pitch, right, for the whole 90 minutes that you could that was showing the blood, sweat, and tears that just really wanted to win that game, that was giving his all was Dalot. Dalot, I saw. If you saw his reaction when we won the game, that just told me the story about his mindset.
Right. He took the first shot that because Garnacho cut the ball back. He took the shot that now fell to Scott McTominay because the keeper pushed it out.
Yeah.
Right. Sammy, the players who made the impact for you. We watched it together.
Obviously, I have to pick Scott because this was like 10 out of 10 performance for him because he like literally played like 8 or 9 minutes. He had like 2 goals and like with a medium number of touches that he make. Other than Scott, obviously Garnacho, as always, like he added the spark in the attacking lineup. He should have been started the game, but it is what it is. But Garnacho is obviously one of the players that stood out on the pitch. And other than that, I would also kind of like it will be a split between Amrabat and Dalot. The reason I'm picking Amrabat because he literally played in the midfield position, and he's trying to get used to it that field, but I haven't seen him making a lot of like errors, like even if you're just playing in an unusual or like still dealing with the formation that Eric Ten Hag planning to follow. So it will be a split between Dalot and Amrabat as like one of the players left.
Jimmy.
Yeah, obviously these are all subjective opinions and how we view the game. So there's no wrong or right answer.
No.
So Scotty is the man of the match. He's the one that saved everyone's bacon. So he's definitely in that list.
Right.
Unfortunately, Joe, you missed that. For me, Dalot was crucial. That guy was on fire from minute one. He was up and down that right flank from start to finish. I think he had a fantastic game, and you may not all agree with this, but when Anthony came on, he actually did a lot of damage on that right side. That's in positive, work. He was keeping the ball, he was getting the ball in, he was actually troubling that left back and the left of midfield. So I thought he did actually quite a good job, much more effective than what I saw from Garnacho. Garnacho did do that cut back, go to the byline, pull it back, and help with the goal. But Anthony did a lot of good work. So those three, Scott, Anthony, and Dello.
That's good. That's good. So, I mean, it was a game that I think when me and Sam was sitting, I think we're literally standing side by side. At 90 minutes, I had literally said, I think we're going to about to lose this match. But when the substitutions came on, I was still nervous that we might not be able to pull this off because it was so late in the game. But United still, they didn't give up. They didn't give up. So, in everything, did we learn anything from this game? Do you think the Man United players learned something from this? I'm going to go with Joe. Joe, did United, the players, do you think this sparks them that they can do it? Was there belief you think had now instilled on them from the result yesterday?
Absolutely not. Because every single, for 90 minutes, it was a team that had not learned any of their mistakes. Wow. Because they just kept on committing those mistakes. So this is a mentality thing. I'm happy that it ended the way it did. But again, we are a team that are just, when I say repeating our mistakes, last year, same thing. Low block team gets the goal before us. We are not able to break them down. And then it'll take a moment of brilliance for us to, do something. It wasn't it's not as if we saw a specific pattern of play. We just threw the kitchen sink at it, and it worked out twice. That said, I did see sparks again. The same exact thing. There was sparks of the game that we looked good. We moving the ball. We had possession and all of that, but just not clinical enough on the final third, and it's just the same old, man. I don't see what they can learn. Everybody that made an impact, except for Anthony, should be starting next week or after the international break, right? Maguire, once everybody's healthy, Maguire, Evans, Lindelof, Garnacho, none of them are going to be starting, right? So if anybody, as a matter of fact, the only person that needed to learn something was Ten Hag, because the individuals that he brought in, right, that changed the match, he has to understand that what he has going out now is not sustainable anymore. There's something you need to do with Rashford, right? There's something you need to do with Bruno on the right. We are not. Why are we forcing this issue, man? Why? Hopefully, because of this game, Anthony has definitely solidified his position in the starting lineup on the right side. So we never have to see Bruno over there again, because that's all he does. He just goes there to die. I don't see the productivity of the team. He's not fast enough, right? So I don't see why he's there, right? He doesn't open the game. We were so narrow this game. It's crazy, right? And once, imagine that you bring in wingers and the game opens up. But I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this is common sense, because now I'm starting to get the same old Ole feelings. Well, why don't you see this? It's clear. It's it's right in front of your eyes, right? And I don't know what he needs to do with Rashford, because I think this was the first step of dropping him significantly. Right, he didn't drop him late in the second half, but hopefully. I don't know, because I don't even think Garnacho is a suitable fit to start either. So,
all right, thank you, Vim. What did we learn from this? Do you think this is now going to be that turbo boost United needed, that tonic, that energy, that Duracell?
I don't think it is, unfortunately, because it wasn't a convincing match. If we
Energizer, by the way.
What did you say,
Tim
Joe?
said Duracell. It's Energizer.
Duracell. Oh,
Energizer.
Energizer. Oh, we have Duracell in the UK, which is a battery that
Joe, don't be
lasts for a long
trying to
time.
bull guard me about
Yeah.
Energizer.
So maybe there is one thing we have learned, that we should watch documentaries about the club from yesteryear to to reinvigorate that culture, what it means to be at Manchester United. Scott McTominay did mention that in his interviews at the end, and I think some of the players there don't really understand or feel the history of the club that we all do, and what it is we're fighting for. You know, that guy was a lion on the day. You know, he was determined to win. He was like a bee under a bonnet. Just you know, nothing would stop him. Our players, a lot of our players, give up. They just think, they almost have this loser mentality, whereas we let a goal in and they've kind of lost the will to win. And you know, as with everything in life, once you lose that ambition to win something, it's already lost. And I feel a lot of our players just give up. Unfortunately, Casemiro looked really downtrodden yesterday. He's been like that all season. In fact, he's just not looked up for it. Rashford is having some serious issues. So I feel a lot of people need to kind of reconnect with what it means to be at this club, what it means to wear this badge, you know, and everything you have to give on the pitch for those 90 minutes plus. You know, you can't just come on and do your job for 300 grand a week and think it's okay, and you know, put in some half-hearted training or make excuses not to come to work, whatever it is. You've got to really want to give everything at this club, and I don't feel all of our players are doing that. I think Ten Hag also needs to learn from this as well. You know, him trying to be the authoritarian and set the ground rules, and yes, he's disciplined a lot of players. He's got rid of a lot of players, but I think he's walking on a tightrope now. If he keeps on alienating players, and the players obviously, you know, have these little cliques, they'll start talking about amongst themselves, saying, "Oh, Ten Hag is too much of this, is too much of that, he's too strict, and he's too stubborn." If he starts alienating players, he's going to get himself into a lot of trouble, and he's going to lose that dressing room. And I feel he's already started that process now. So he's doing a little bit of damage himself. He does come across quite cocksure. I'm not, you know, he had a first good season, but I'm not entirely sure that he should be making too many waves too quickly. He needs to try and put his arm around players and make them want to play for him rather than alienating them.
That's a good one. Thank you, Vim. Sammy, was this the turning point for United? Do the players, you think they got it? This was the game. You think they got it?
Honestly, I don't think so, that this game would actually have a very tangible impact in later stages of this season. I mean, I'm glad that there was a moment of magic that led us to 3 points, but that's ain't gonna happen in every game. So at the end on the day, we have to play like a cohesive team. You know, have to show up for the badge, which was missing throughout the game. You know, so I'm glad that we got the 3 points, but you know, when the players, still need to know when the players went back to the dressing room, you know, after yesterday's game, what exactly they thought of. You know, like, you know, is it like something they are going to continue playing like that and just relying on someone to come out of the bench and, like, you know, score? That's not going to happen. So we are lacking that killer instinct. You know, we are lacking the killer instinct against the small teams. Okay, so this kind of game should be put into bed, you know, at the beginning. Speaking of Onana, and I'm just going to pick Onana again. I'm not picking on him, but you know,
Right,
he needs to show up. That what the reason actually, I guess, BTH backed him. Yeah, I mean, he stuck his neck out to get him, you know, in the team. So, but what is that? You know, like, you know, that exaggeration of like that, you know, like the ambition of playing for Manchester United, or like, you know, just putting the trust, showing up for what, you know, like he performed. You know, like I don't see that Onana has been the same player that he was played for Inter Milan. I mean, I had a lot of high expectation on him, but nothing has been shown on the pitch. So I feel like, you know, this team has been battered by some of the off-field controversies that led to some sort of a conflict scenario happening in the dressing room. I don't know what's going on, but I guess Eric Ten Hag, he has to step up. obviously has to show his authority and to make sure that the players are on board with the idea that we are playing for Manchester United. It's not like some body like, just earning 300, 400K per week just to like get on the pitch and just deliver whatever they can. It's about just giving more than 100% sometime. I guess I just don't know. I mean, to answer your question, that what we learned, I mean, I think it will be a kind of a reflective of our performance in the next few weeks, especially after the international break. Will answer that question that, like, okay, we learned something and we're going to transform it on the pitch. So yeah, that's kind of my take on this.
Okay. Benzi.
All right. You said what we learned, right?
What we learned, do you think this will now be the turning corner for the players? Do you think this is it now? Can they now use this opportunity to, like, you know what? We were down, we were out, we found that extra mileage, that voltage, and we went out there. Our heads didn't drop. I mean,
it should be a turning point. Ideally, it should be a turning point because,
right.
Looking at the way the season has started, we were 4 out of 8 games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we lost 4 out of 8 games, or 4 out of 7 games. And if we lost this one, it would be 5 out of 8.
Right.
And then to come and win the game in the last 4 minutes of the game, kind of similar to the way we won the treble. It should be a galvanizing moment, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to continue to see an up and down season. I think there's serious issues behind closed doors, serious issues behind the scenes in that club, and I'm like I've always said, this goes all the way to the top. That club is not run well. I mean, it's just terrible what's going on. One thing I will say is Ten Hag has, like I said before, he has big decisions to make. At the end of the day, it's a result-based business, and he's going to be judged by results. I don't think he should be sacked regardless, regardless of what the results be, because changing the manager is not going to do anything. But I think he needs to make decisions to start dropping players like Rashford. Rashford needs to be dropped from the beginning of the game. Just put him on the bench at best, because he's definitely affecting the way we play. Give other people more time, is in opportunities to play. I'm not saying start Garnacho. Garnacho obviously is also a direct player too, but I mean, give him a chance. Let's see what he does from the beginning of the game. I mean, and then he has to see which plays that he can trust. I mean, obviously, the regular is his regular plays are not really doing it for him. So he has to try and figure out which other players that he can definitely Amrabat. I mean, and people say, oh yeah, we had injuries. Injuries is not an excuse. Playing against Brentford, you know what I'm saying? That's not an excuse. We should be able to still beat teams like this, regardless of the number of injuries we have. But yeah, it's gonna be an up and down season. I don't see it getting better. The only way I see this changing is the owners leave. I'm very convinced. Even if we sack Ten Hag again, new manager, things might change for a little bit, couple months, but we're gonna be right back here again. So it's I don't think we really learned any massive thing. Honestly, we're just happy and lucky that we won the game that we were supposed to win anyways. So
right. So you
yeah.
think this is, as you came down to say, it still is Brentford. It's not Manchester City, it's not Liverpool, but and you made some points in terms of that. It's the way the club is run, and I get it. It's just unfortunate where we are today. I just think, if, as a United fan, because of the defeat against Galatasaray, the defeat against Crystal Palace, which was back to back, we as United fans needed something, and it looked like we were getting nothing. So that's the whole euphoria, because it came out of, like, he rolled his last dice. Literally, the subs made the impact. It was the subs who turned the game around. Everyone who started, Casemiro was dreadful. He was dreadful. I don't know what happened to him. That mess up he did in the middle of the park, Lindelof not clearing the ball. I don't know what is wrong with these people. How do you clear the ball back to the opponent? But it's these mistakes. But United found a way from the subs that were used, and that's how we got out of jail. And because of the look at the Galatasaray, the Crystal Palace. Could you imagine us waking up today, considering we just lost to Brentford again? It will be Ten Hag out. That was only what we're gonna see. Ten Hag out everywhere. Or Nana out, Ten Hag out. That's it. But we didn't. And it happened just before the international break, which gives United fans to think of like, okay, we have chance. But Bems, you're saying, you're saying, you don't think it's enough to spark this team because of the way the organization is run. I see your point.
Yep.
It should be a turning point. We're hoping it's a turning point. You saw the results today. Liverpool drew. City lost. I mean, Spurs and Arsenal won, so they're going further away. Anything can happen in the Premier League. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying I just want us to be a bit not too far away from them guys. If we can put a run of results together, that's all I ask. Can this team do it?
Team at best.
Huh?
We're mid-table. We're a mid-table team at best, man. That's what
the
table doesn't
yes,
like.
We are poor. If a midfield player loses a ball in the middle of the park, he tried to do a rash tackle because he tried to chop the guy down. The guy skipped over him like he wasn't even there. He jogged after the guy. Lindelof, the boy cut the ball back. Lindelof can't clear the ball back to the Brentford guy. Onana, could he have done better? I think he could have done better there. You see what I mean? But it's these errors that Ten Hag talks about in the presser. Consistent errors. We need to eradicate those errors. So if we could get all those mistakes away, I think we would have been in a better position. So the players have to take accountability of themselves. So now the floor is open to question time. Anyone want to talk about anything about Manutd this last week, today's game, and going for international break?
Yeah, I got something to raise. I don't know if you guys have seen the reports, but I've seen it raised a couple of times now that Ten Hag's methods have been causing injuries in our squad. He's been overworking them. He's been doubling up their training sessions, which is fine. He's making them run a lot more. And when it comes to game day, a lot of players are complaining of exhaustion, or some of them are complaining of exhaustion, and some of them look quite tired. And this has been leaked by sources close to the club, by journos around the club that have contacts at the club, that his methods and his system, yes, okay, it does have a greater goal, which is to get us to competing with City and the other top teams. However, is he doing it too quickly at the expense of causing our players to become injured and exhausted and not perform on game day? He's brought Lisandro Martinez back too early as well, therefore causing, I don't know if he's had another break in his metatarsal, but it's going to be, requires more surgery. And he was our key defender. So what are your thoughts on what's happening with this?
I think that's BS, man. The reason why I say
people are from close to the club, and these are A-list journos that are close to the club. And there's multiple sources out there. If it's bullshit, I won't mention it. But I think I'm seeing something like that in pitch. They look tired. We've got a massive injury problem now.
Yeah,
and players do not look happy.
I think. So, I mean, my thing. I mean, I'm not saying when I mean is BS. I mean the fact that it's coming out. I think that's just total BS. When was that last season? When we're winning games and when we won the Carabao Cup? Why weren't people complaining? Why are they complaining now? That you see, that's my issue, right? That's my issue with the media, my issue with fans. When things are going right, oh, it was all good and dandy, but things have been going wrong. Oh, yeah, it's because he's been overworking the players. I think, honestly speaking, this season is similar to Liverpool's last season, because the season before for Liverpool, right? The season before last season, they were in all competitions towards the end of the season, and the start of last season, they got a lot of injuries. Their season wasn't good. They didn't have a good season. We having the same exact thing. We played too many games. If you look at the stats, we played the most games in Europe last season. The most games in Europe in last season. It was a guarantee that we were going to get a lot of injuries, and we didn't have the squad to push for all those competitions. So when you have when you're playing so many. I think we played, what is it, 70 games last season, if I'm not mistaken.
About,
That's
yeah.
And then remember, we also played in the World Cup too. The World
Yeah.
Cup too was there too. So that's my opinion. But Vim, I'm not saying what you're saying is BS. I'm just saying that the actual
It's
fact that
out
that's
there.
coming
It's
out
out there. So I'm
against Ten
just
Hag,
just getting your take on it. If
yeah.
you don't believe it, that's your choice.
Right. Joe,
Mm.
what do you take on this? What's your take on this whole thing about what being said that they think Ten Hag is Ken, welcome to the show representing the UK. Ken, welcome on, Mr. Fortress, welcome. Happy Sunday, Joe. The injuries are finding out players being rushed into early. Are you in agreement with what is coming out from Old Trafford? The training is a bit extensive.
I think some of our injury woes is due to our lack of depth. We have no depth, right? So we're being forced to play certain players that could be rested. And it seems like from the beginning of the season, we are not up to task physically for the Premier League. It just didn't seem like we're off the pace. We're getting there's just certain things that you're seeing our players again not good. When it comes to our midfield, when it came to our midfield, it was a little bit on the older side, right? The older and slow side. Casemiro, older, not necessarily the speediest. Ericsson, same thing. Bruno, same thing. We don't have, Amrabat is a welcoming introduction into the team. But yeah, just like Ben said, yeah, we played a lot of games. That's why, to be honest, that it feels like this rebuild, it's only going to take longer because we're doing just enough to stay in a lot of these competitions, and I think it's prolonging our rebuild because we're dealing with injuries now. We're not able to, because of the expectations of the Champions League and certain cup games. We're not we're forcing some of our better players to be on this team where they need to be concentrated on, like the Premier League, making top 4. So all of that, I personally don't think there's anything particularly going on as far as training. Like City won the treble last season. Didn't they play a lot of games?
They did.
I mean, what's going on here?
To your point, they have a bigger squad, though.
No, but City have a bigger squad. Yeah, you have a much bigger squad,
So that's what we need, right? Like, it's not, we need to still train at that level. We still need to train at that level. We just need a deeper squad, right? So, and if to say that the physical requirements for training and playing for Manchester United is too much, where our goal is like towards City, then you've already conceded that they're not good enough. Any player that says that the training is too much has already conceded he is not physically capable of wearing that badge. So that's a decision that needs to be made. You can't tell us to like not know that and I bet it's going to be the same usual suspect too. So I'm not hearing none of that. I'm not here for none of that.
Because if you remember, Rannick did say when Rannick asked for 2 times a day training, the players revolted. Some players said they're not training; it's overextensive, and it does happen. But well, Ken, we have information that some of the players think the training is too exhausting, that they get tired on game day. What's your take on that, please?
I think that's excuses. It's just it's excuses. It's excuses. Well, if it's true, if this is a big if it's true, it just means that the players have not been training properly. And there were concerns when Ollie was around, when Ollie was managing, that the training was just was not good enough. That's my take on it. They need to be fit. I mean, if I know Ten Hag likes to he's very intensive in his training method, but I think if that is the case, with time we will start to see the benefits of the hard work that we're putting in now. It's just like when you start going to the gym for the first time. You know, the first day you go, you wake up in the morning and it absolutely kills you. You know, but when you keep when you keep doing it, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So yeah, that's my view on it.
All right. Since you still have time on your clock, what was your take on the game yesterday?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, man. I just want to say one thing. Huge apologies to the Scottish lad. You know, this
Man, you need to apologize more than a few times.
I've dissed him so many times, but you know, I mean, if ETH starts him in the next game, no one can say anything. I mean, the way we're shipping in goals from midfield, people not picking up players, square passes not getting picked up. You know, it's I know it's just one game, but he deserves to start the next game. If you come in and score 2 goals in 5 minutes, it's a fact. You have to reward excellence. This is
you have to if it's not the right fit.
No. You have to reward it. If someone comes in and scores 2 goals and wins the game, he needs to start the next game. Someone else.
Where? As a striker or a midfielder?
No. As in the 10 position.
In a 10? Oh my God. I don't think.
The Scottish lad.
I think he needs to support Rasmus.
This is insane.
You can call it whatever. Let me explain. He's not. I don't know where someone must have misinterpreted or misread his game. He is not a defensive midfielder. Yeah, let's get that right straight. He's not a DM. He's not a centre midfielder either. He's not. What his strengths are is to get into the box and cause problems and hassle defenders. And he if you look at his record for Scotland, he's the top goal scorer for Scotland all through the qualifier. I think he's actually top goal scorer in the whole qualifying series for all nations. Forget Scotland. So his goal scoring record is really good. And you can see the goals he scored yesterday, very incisive. No one else in the team can control the ball like that and turn. We have all the players will control the ball, take a touch, look up. By the time the shot gets off, all the defenders have blocked it. You know, so we need to try. If it's not working, we need to try something new. We need to try something new. Play him there, give him the first half. If it doesn't work, bring on someone else. I'm sorry, Casemiro. Look at the big old Cass, right? Look at the goal we conceded on Saturday. That was his fault. Again, losing the ball in midfield. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So let's not go with the names. Oh, it's Casemiro. Oh, look, the way I see it, if someone comes in and scores, you know, he needs to start the next game. We have to start rewarding success and not rewarding players because of their names or not rewarding players because, we think they're not good enough. Right. That's my point. That's my viewpoint.
He makes a point. Next game is away to Sheffield United, Vim. Away to Sheffield United. They got dissed by Newcastle last week, 8-0. Can United rewarding Scott McTominay? Where will he play, in your opinion, Vim, against Sheffield United next weekend, the weekend after?
Look, okay, it is. I know it's a contentious subject.
Your time starts now. Go.
It's a contentious subject. I know Scott McTominay for me as a midfielder isn't great. He started. I know he's been at the club since 5 years old, but he's always been attack-minded. He's always thought about going at the goal and scoring. He doesn't really think about the defensive aspect of the game. So if he's to start, I probably would change the system to make it maybe like a 4-4-2 or something like that, where he supports Rasmus. I think, you know, they're two tall, aggressive attackers that could potentially cause a lot of damage to Sheffield's back line. They had quite a bad, horrific injury. I don't know if he was a winger or something, but you saw the leg break. Yesterday. So yeah, commiserations to Sheffield for that. But you know, they've been newly promoted, and we should be picking up a standard 3 points here. So this would be a good game for Scotty to start. So yeah, give him a chance and reward him. I don't know if any of you noticed as well that at the end of the game, when Ten Hag came up to him, he just shook his hand. They just shook each other's hand, and there was no hug, there was no embrace, there was nothing. It was a very cold sort of greeting, whatever it was. It just seemed there's some bitterness lying there. Perhaps because Ten Hag doesn't want him at the club, or he's ship him off, or he doesn't play him, or he's just sidelined him. Again, he's alienated him as well, and it's pretty evident. I'm seeing these little patterns of players being quite cold to Ten Hag. And I also observed that Steve McLaren is there on the end on the right of Van der Gaag.
Yeah, I saw that
no one
too.
speaks to him. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, so just there was a hug. I'm looking at the picture here. There was actually a hug between Ten Hag and.
It was very cold, though. It was very cold. It wasn't like a really happy embrace. Did you see Arteta embracing all his players and they're laughing and joking? With Ten Hag and McTominay, it was very cold.
That was a stressful hug.
It's like
I think it was
I'll congratulate with you, but I don't really
can you
want
share
to.
the link so that I can see?
Yeah. I'll let me see if I can send it now.
Okay.
So
on.
standard. We should have 3 points, and I think we need to adjust our system and play the players that are performing. Players should be playing on merit, not on favoritism, not on salary, not on asset value.
That's it.
They should be playing on merit. Who performs well? Who's shown to be most effective in those positions? Play them, and if that includes academy players, play them as well. So yeah, play on merit.
Okay.
That's me.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Joe, I know you have a lot to say in reference to the game against Sheffield United is in 2 weeks' time away. Should players be rewarded, or should players should they stick to, like, you know what? Okay, you gave me 3 points, you saved everything, but back to where you come from. I'm starting Casemiro and all the Rashford. You, Joe.
Scott McTominay needs to be as far away from that starting lineup as Harry Maguire, because I get it, man. He came and he performed and he excelled, but not at his position, right? I didn't see any particular changes, and as far as like the midfield getting better. Yes, Casemiro is out of form, but I honestly don't know if Casemiro being out of form is not still better than McTominay. The only way McTominay is getting into this lineup is if he comes in for Casemiro, right? So then we would need him to do Casemiro's job. And what confidence do you have that Casemiro will do that job correctly? There is no way McTominay should play anywhere on this team other than defensive midfielder, because he does not do it better than anyone else. If you decide to play a false nine, we have better players. If you decide to play in Bruno's position, we have better players. There's nowhere else he can play, right?
Left back? What about left back?
This is like Football Manager settings now. I have no, but you know what? If the choice is between him and Lindelof, holy shit! I guess let's go with let's try the Scottish lad. But the Scottish lad is still the Scottish lad. I don't care. They say a clock could be white twice a day. Well, yesterday was that day, because he got his brace, and props to him. Props to him. He showed the fight. That's the Manchester United mentality. But I have seen him disappear, and his setting is still to hide and disappear in the midfield, which is where we need him. So to me, maybe this will give him maybe a bit more minutes as far as when he comes in the second half. Not enough to start. Not to me at all. No.
Bams. Man United, Sheffield United, next 2 weeks away. United should get 3 points. Should they reward the players or do what he needs to do?
I mean, yeah, there's certain players that should be that should start the next game. I mean, Anthony should start, obviously. So Bruno can play down the middle. Rashford shouldn't start that game at all, if you ask me. Garnacho should be given be allowed to start on the left side. I mean, in my opinion, I will I won't start Scott McTominay, even though he was our winner. Well, he was he won us the game, but the Scottish lad is still the Scottish lad. He's shown in the past that he can't like he's not good. Let's just be honest. He's not a good United player. I mean, he's good for country, right? But when talk about top team, he's not. But yes, he does do a job in certain type of games in certain positions, and what I think we should find a way to use him to the best in those kind of situations. So like more like a supporting striker kind of, because he's very good on the attack. But yeah, man. Like I said, Eric Ten Hag's got big decisions to make. We'll see.
All right. Any more questions? We're still in the question domain. Can you have any questions? Anyway,
Yeah,
Is
just
Ken- Sorry,
I've got a
you go.
question.
Go, Kenny.
Yeah. So just just a quick question then. Have we discovered a new position for Scott McTominay? That's what I'm thinking, because from what we saw yesterday, and he's shown instincts of this in previous games.
I think we have, yeah.
Should we? Yeah, I think, like, to your point, Vim, I think we should play him up front. So I don't know, further up, not GM.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
he's
agree.
got to play
who
close
wants
to
to analyze
Rasmus.
that one? Who wants to analyze that question?
I can go first. I think he needs to be
Okay.
close to Rasmus. They embrace quite well. They seem to link up together quite well. They were almost parallel in front of goal at most times, and they both hunt the ball. They wait for the ball, and rather than just having a single striker in the box that we're all trying to aim for, have two of them, and they're both tall, and we can see now he can header the ball quite well, and he's got fairly decent control. I know, Joe, he's shocking in midfield. I agree with you, and Ollie put him there, and Ollie kind of destroyed him in that position. But he's definitely got the spirit, the right spirit to try and salvage and win games. But he's not a player that can help us control games. So I think he needs to not start every game, and he should be a starter, but he should come in as a sub to help Rasmus, because Rasmus works his socks off. And if you can get someone close to him in terms of his work rate and his aerial ability, then Scott could help Rasmus as a support striker when we need to get two strikers in the box, and we need to start playing direct, go long, hit the ball into the box.
That'll be more like
Desperation.
So what does the midfield look
more
like?
like a 4-4-2.
Huh?
What does the
4-4-2,
midfield look like when you do that?
The
does the
midfield
midfield
would
look like?
have to be Amrabat and Casemiro when he's on form, with Bruno, three of them rotating, perhaps. Yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because our system isn't really built for 4-4-2 anymore.
Yeah. So are we playing wingers? Do we have Rashford, Anthony, or Garnacho on this team?
Rashford cannot
I don't know
play
yet.
that. Rashford
I
cannot
would
play
like
that
to
kind of
see.
that kind of lineup.
I would like to see three at the back. If we don't have a left back, then why don't we just do three centre backs?
Three centre backs without injuries?
Well, what's happened to Varane?
Yeah, the
He's
only
injured.
thing is
Again,
He's injured.
I don't think we have the squad for back three though.
No, I don't
But
think
but
I don't think we have a squad for
put Amrabat in midfield, but also give him that responsibility to come back into defence. Because what I noticed is that when we have two centre backs, they split, and Casemiro and Amrabat drop in and help out. So we almost revert to three at the back.
I think.
So I don't know. I mean, if we can get two up front, put a little bit more in midfield to help control the midfield, and then provide service to the attack. I don't know. I mean, sometimes
I see
you have
where
to try
Vim's coming
systems.
from. I see where Vim's coming from, but I just don't think we have the squad for it. It would have to be Amrabat and Casemiro. You'd have to have two energetic midfielders that are running to go up and down. And then you're gonna have to have right and left midfielders there, or i.e. wingers that are the type of players that would look to assist first and rather than score first, because you already have two players up top. So you want to have either but that's the thing now. Who do we have that can play left mid, right mid, wingers, right? That would constantly be looking to place crosses into the box, because you're gonna need crosses for both Scott McTominay and Højlund. And the thing is, most of our wingers are direct. Rashford is direct. Garnacho is direct. You could even say Palestri is kind of direct, but he's the only one that would look to make those crosses though from the right side. And then, I mean, Martial is a number 9. He can play wing too, but yeah.
I mean, Anthony on the right,
crossover ball.
definitely.
I
Anthony on the
don't
right
think
in front of Dalot
Mhm.
in the 4-4-2 system.
maybe Anthony on the left, in my opinion. Maybe Anthony on the
If you
left
want to
because
go
he's
opposite way,
left-footed.
but I don't think
Yeah.
Ten Hag will do it. He just seems to be
True.
sticking to his little regime there, inverted.
The only way it would work is probably, I guess, Anthony on the left, and then maybe Rashford on the right because he's right-footed and Anthony's left-footed. And sole instruction is to just cross into the box. Just keep crossing.
So I mean, I'm thinking just
Sure.
Ten Hag does what he does, right? But if we're desperate, like we were in this game, and we are very leaky at the back now, is that we have a more solid midfield with 4 as opposed to 3, and so rather than having 3 up the front attacking, you've got to bring one of them into midfield to help that solidity, help the defense, because Lindelof is a real liability. So I'm talking about shift in the system change during a game. It doesn't have to stay 4-4-2 throughout the whole game.
Right.
It's when we need to become more solid, perhaps. But just ideas.
No, man. Anyone else want to add on to that? All right. A question someone asked me to ask you guys is: should United start to look at another goalkeeper as they bring Altay in for Onana? Is the pressure too much on Onana? So there are 3 questions in this. So you're going to have 3 minutes to answer this. Is the defense, the constant change of the defense, causing Onana's lack of confidence? Or is Onana not as good as we think he is? And should United change keepers with Altay? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, okay.
So yeah.
Cannon's brother.
A good.
Yeah.
can
We
you
can
see
see
me?
you. It's Tim that's
You all right?
frozen.
Go on.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just to make it quick. So what it is he's coming to a team that's disorganized, right?
Right.
You've got a team where the defense, Varane hasn't been himself this season. He's been absolutely woeful. Let's be clear. Neither has Martinez, but we know why Martinez has been. Remember, we had the conversation last time, and I was really questioning Martinez, and now it turned out that he'd been playing, with injuries all this while, and you could tell there had to be something wrong because the Martinez we've seen this season is not the one we've seen last season, right? So that's 2 defenders. Your top 2 centre backs, primary centre backs, are out of form. One through injury, one through just out of form. Varane's lost pace as well and injury prone. Then you have a situation where there's no left backs. So look at a good example was the first goal that Brentford scored yesterday, or the only goal that Brentford scored. When Casemiro lost the ball, look at what Lindelof tried to do with his clearance. Exactly. A left back would have taken that ball, turned, and then ran down the wing, right? That way. But because he's right-footed, his natural instinct is to come in and whack it and just kick it. And in doing so, yes, Onana should have saved that. But then that shot should not even come to the goal. I remember Peter Schmeichel used to, any shot that comes in, he sprints to the defenders and goes, "What is going on? I don't want any shots." So I think let's give him time. De Gea had the same problem when he started. Sir Alex had to drop him for a few games as well. Brought in Lindegaard, from that goalkeeper. So let's get a defense sorted out. Yeah, let's get a midfield. The midfield's still not right. Let's get the midfield sorted out. Hopefully, Amrabat can acclimatise to the Premier League and to Manchester United, and we can have a strong team. And then let's judge Onana. Then that's what I would say. He's just, as you know, coming to Manchester United is a big. I've got 36 seconds. It's a big move, and the shirt is very heavy. That shirt is like wearing gold, bars of gold. So let's just give him some time. Yeah. Give him some time.
Okay. Who else wants to talk about the situation? Who wants to go next? Onana, is it him? Is it the defense that constantly changes in front of him? Should United now bring Altai and give Onana a break?
I know you've got
Uh,
something to say, Joe.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna make a disclaimer. I am not here to say I told you so about Onana, De Gea, and all of that, right? Just like Onana, just like Anthony, there's certain techniques that I feel Onana, if he practices on it, will stop making some of these shots. The issue that he's having in some of these it's really technique. I don't there's a lack of confidence whenever he decides when to jump, when to come down. Even Peter Schmeichel said he's doing like a little hop when he conceded that. I understand some goals is not quite a few of the goals he's conceded this season was not his fault. Defense just left him out to dry, especially a lot of those cutback goals. So that said, I get that. But he was never brought here as a shot stopper. So I can't necessarily judge him fully like that, right? Even though, I thought the getting it was unnecessary, right? That said, some of these shots that are being taken at him, I mean, to be honest, right now it's just looking like if you put the shot on target, you have a good chance that he's not gonna, if a good solid strike, he's not gonna stop it, So the defense needs to. It's unfortunate, but he does not have the defense to protect them this season.
Yeah.
If we had all of our defense, if everybody was healthy, I feel like we'd be conceding a lot less goals, right? And it would give him a little bit more time to maybe work on his technique, maybe not as much eyes on him, maybe not as much stress on him. But hey, once you put that jersey on, yo, like that's it. You're in the fire. So you got to be ready to play or not, right? So I'm not ready. I would say maybe if I see another one of those mistakes one more time, win or lose, right? One more time, he needs to be dropped. I would say let's try Tommy Heaton, because it's not as if
Tommy
we're playing
Eaton, number 3.
What about him there? About him there?
I don't know that kid. I don't know that kid. So I mean, the pecking order is Tommy Heaton. That's the pecking order, ain't it?
No,
I think
No.
Outside
Bahinde is the
It's
second.
third
Bahinde
string.
is 25
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
second choice. Yeah.
In his second choice, yeah.
Okay, bring the kid in. Let's see what happens. But there's no, like, with this defense, there's no guarantee that kid is not gonna die even more. Like, he's gonna concede goals because our defense is crap right now, right? So that's
more time.
I would say giving on another game. If not, he would have to be dropped.
All right. Ben, your take on Onana, the situation, it's all in one and rolled up to you. Go.
Yeah, I mean, Onana hasn't started the season well. He's definitely not a shot stopper like De Gea. I mean, De Gea did need to go though eventually, because he was. I mean, obviously, because you want to start playing with a keeper that could is good with his feet. So, and David De Gea wasn't that. That's the thing. You lose that shot stopping ability of De Gea, but then you gain with the ball playing goalkeeper. But he's not even. Onana's not even. He's not even. He's been a lot of his passes were just long balls yesterday. We weren't really playing from the back as much. And I think it's because Ten Hag has lost the confidence. He's lost confidence in the team that we're going to be able to play from the back. I just think the defense is just weaker this season, obviously with injuries. Just like what Joe said, because you we're conceding a lot more chances. I mean, I'm not gonna write Onana off. He's a good goalkeeper. He's shown it at Inter Milan. the thing is now he's low in confidence. And I mean, you play for Manchester United, it's a very, very big job. I'm not going to write him off. I will say he may need dropping and playing that Bahenda guy, just so Onana could get his confidence back, just slowly bring him back in again. But I mean, it was bound to happen, man. When you let the hair go and you get Onana, these mistakes was bound to happen. I'm really not surprised, really. Ideally, I would have liked to. I would have wanted the hair to stay one more year, just because that defensive unit. Last season we were built on defense because we kept so many clean sheets, and this season we just completely lost that. And it's not the fact that we have so many injuries in that defense doesn't even help the situation either. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation. So yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, probably rest Onana for a little bit, give the backup Bahenda a shot. Let's see what he does. But I'm not willing to write off Onana yet. He's still a good goalkeeper. Played well in Champions League. We know what he can do. It just hasn't started well for him here at United.
Okay. Vim, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, you can't write him off that already. He's made mistakes. His confidence is low. You've got to give him time to recover and find his feet. We still have the same goalkeeping coach in Richard Hartis, who's been at the club for a long time. So he's coached all of our goalkeepers. So if you know, do you remember when De Gea joined? How many howlers he used to make at the beginning? Yeah, no, we thought we should send him back. He was absolutely horrendous. And we all thought the same, that we should send him back. But you know, we gave him time. He found his feet, and then became the best shot stopper in the league. And I'm not saying that Onana would become that, but he was bought because he was the best goalkeeper with the ball at his feet and playing the ball out with his feet, and becoming that 11th man, 11th player. So he was noted as the best in that area, and that's why we bought him, and that's what Ten Hag wants. We just need to get Richard Hartis working on his shot stopping skills and his reactions, and his movement and his positioning. Because one thing that's been spotted with Onana is that although he loves to come out of his box and play the ball out, when we're under attack, he goes right back to his line and stays on his line. And that's been spotted quite a few times, and that makes the goal a lot bigger of a target to aim for. He needs to come out and collect that ball. He needs to close it down a little bit more. He's been rooted to his line a lot. De Gea used to do that as well, and he still kept doing that. And you know how much he got bullied by other players. At least you know Onana won't get. Onana has that physicality, so he's got pluses and minuses. He's just not as agile as David De Gea. I like Onana. I think he's a confident goalkeeper. He's loud. He's quite rough when he wants to be, and he shouts at his players, and that's something that David De Gea didn't do. So I'm happy to see that. I just don't like seeing all these mistakes. One thing I've noticed with Onana as well is that he's got one big mistake in him in every game almost. So he makes one big mistake, lets in a goal, but then he makes a string of good saves. So it seems like he's not almost mentally prepared or ready for the game. So maybe Richard Hartis or the goalkeeping coaches could spend a little bit more time with him, getting him mentally ready for the game, so that he doesn't make those mistakes so early on. Because once he's made that mistake, he just beats himself up. You can see him talking to himself and shaking his head and stuff like that. Then he gets himself mentally into the game and he starts making great saves. So I think it's his preparation as well that probably needs to be worked on. But no, don't give up on him. I think he's a good goalkeeper, and I think he can come good eventually. The reason he did so well at Inter Milan is because they're a solid defensive unit, and they defend from the front. They just don't let the ball come near their goalkeeper. So Onana has it a lot easier, or had it a lot easier at Inter Milan, because they're a solid unit all the way through. We're like a leaky drain. That ball just goes straight through us so easily, so quickly, and so often.
Oh boy, that hurts.
That's the problem. Yeah,
It's the truth.
yeah. Keep him. We've got to give him a chance, man.
Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Vim. Wow. I mean, that was a very good one today. I think that was really good. If there anyone has any last thing to say as we go to the international break, what do you guys expect?
question.
Yeah.
Quick question. It's two-parter and it's a really quick one, right?
All right.
Should we bring Sancho back now, and do we need him?
Who wants to go? Who wants to answer
No
that?
to both questions. No.
Yeah, I'll say no as well. I'll say if he doesn't. Did you guys see a picture of him with the under-18s yesterday? I think
Yeah, I
I
saw
posted
that.
about to serve oranges. But
Is that true? Was he about to serve oranges?
Nah.
No, okay, fine.
Nah, he's too arrogant for that. He won't do that.
Yeah, he
Well-
seems like someone that's very arrogant and proud and pompous. I mean, all you have to do, right, is just go to the manager and say, look, okay, I'm going to apologize. Let's not make it public. Just say, you can go to the manager and apologize, and then the manager can play. If you have a chat with the boss, just say, look, yeah, everything's fine now. We've sorted out. Did he apologize? Ten Hag's very good at that. He could just say, everything's fine. Did he apologize? Everything's fine. He's back in the squad, and then that's it. That's all. I don't understand why he's just dragging the thing on. The longer you leave it, the worse it gets. Your team's struggling. We paid £72 million for you. You're earning 350k. Dude, do the right thing and come back into the team.
He needs to swallow his pride, doesn't he? He
He's
needs to
just
swallow
so
his pride.
arrogant, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one final question. My final question is, are we going to kick on from here now? Because we've seen this with so many teams where, last-minute winners have proven to be the turning point in the club season. Is this going to be us?
We'll find out after the international break.
Yo, no,
United the next
wait,
stop.
Ken. Ken, I need to call you on that.
Yeah.
What team had been this shit like we have for these many games, had a game like this, and then they kicked off and did something this season in one season?
Well,
Who
not
has
this
ever
season.
done that?
Not this season, but Arsenal in the last season, Brentford, was it Brentford? No, Bournemouth, where had they lost that game, they would have been basically out of the title race. Arsenal scored so many last-minute winners last season that got them to where they are today, So I
Arsenal
think
was a significantly better team this season.
well, at this point, yeah, but yeah, they're ahead of us in progression. But I think with our biggest problem now, I was speaking to, I think I mentioned Tim as well. We don't have a left back. It's absolutely killing us. No, we need someone that can come in. Did you see how the first goal came in? Left-footed cross from Garnacho. Now imagine if Garnacho cut in like Rashford would have done, like Martial would have done, like anyone else would have done. We wouldn't have scored that goal. He took it down the byline and caught it with his left
Dalot
foot.
was ready to release
There
him.
you go. And Dalot, funny enough, shot with his left foot as well. Yeah. That's why Ten Hag came in and said we need left-footed players. Imagine having someone like Reguilon in that team or Luke Shaw, bombing down and crossing the ball to Highland. I think we just need that fullback to come back.
We are missing.
We are missing Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
we are missing Luke Shaw like mad, man. That guy, man. Rasmus will be feasting off of Luke Shaw's left foot, man. I think they will connect pretty well. We're missing a lot of players though.
Any due date? Anyone know any due date for Shaw?
Not sure, but Regular should be back
after the international break.
Yeah, Regular should be back after the internationals. Regular should be back after the internationals. So we don't know about Shaw.
Luke Shaw
he's not in a Call of Duty competition then. Is he actually injured?
Maybe it had to be you.
No,
just
dropped. Anyone did just drop.
No, he's injured. I don't expect Luke Shaw till November. Sometime in November.
Right.
The same with Kobe. Kobe will be
Kobe
November sometime.
No. Kobe's back. Kobe's back after internationals. Kobe, Reguilon, and someone else. I can't remember who the third player is. Oh, Ahmad. Yes.
Don't we have anyone in the academy that can come up and play left back?
Kobe, Ahmad, and Reguilon will be back after the international break.
Doesn't the academy have any decent left backs that could get promoted?
Obviously not.
No, I don't think so.
Apparently, nothing better than Lindelof.
come on. Yeah, play Lindelof at the back. That's just mad.
Yeah, it cost
Left
us the
back.
goal
From
yesterday.
you guys saw from that clearance he made yesterday.
And I can see
Shocking.
He's
that
done it.
clearance.
He's
He
done
cleared
it.
it right back to where it came from.
Yeah, okay. Because he's right-footed.
He was like, really, bro? And they just, I mean, Casemiro made the original mistake.
Yeah.
And when I saw Casemiro make that mistake and try to slice the guy down, and that guy just skipped over him and just, Casemiro, I said, you know what?
You saw a goal coming, right?
He just saw a goal coming.
So
It
all
Casemiro's
of you
been doing
would
that
drop
quite a bit.
Lindelof, yeah, for the next game.
Me, I won't.
You won't drop Lindelof.
I won't drop Lindelof. I mean, Lindelof is not. Let's be honest, right? Compared to a lot of players, Lindelof has not been as bad as a lot of other players. He's actually been okay, in my opinion. He just had a bad game yesterday.
Did you see the other games when he was
yeah, I
out
watched
of
the other
position
games.
and he didn't press?
Galatasaray,
He
he
doesn't
was
press
poor.
at the right time.
Yeah, but then
easily passed.
Yeah, but I'll say is a lot of it is with the midfield though. A lot of it is with the midfield though.
You just look at individual defensive errors from him. There's countless this season.
Yeah, I get he's had errors, but the midfield has not been picking up runners though. Like the defense can only do so much, but our midfield has clearly not been picking up runners. We keep getting those cutback goals. It's a standard procedure. Just go down the wing and just cut it back and you score.
No, that's fine. Midfield have to do their job as well, but we can't have a blame culture going on. If you're brought in as a defender, you've got to be good at what you do. And if you can't just do basic defending, then you really shouldn't be defending at this club.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, this is the same Lindelof that's been paired with that when we talk about like if Varane is injured, I mean, and when Martinez was healthy, right? When Varane's injured, who else would you play between Maguire and Lindelof beside Martinez? Who else would you play?
At the moment, it seems like Maguire's having
a better time. At the moment, I'll go with Maguire.
Maguire did have a good game.
I'm not saying at the moment.
Right now.
I'm not saying at the moment. I'm talking about
in general.
If you look at in general, if you talk about like in general the performances from last season and look at it as a whole.
Why don't you base it on form? Why don't we think about form?
No,
it's right now. Lindelof's form.
I'm asking the question right now.
No, you can't forget form.
Okay.
Lindelof's form right now is bad.
Okay, Ten Hag.
You can't persist with him.
Okay, then if you're going to talk about Lindelof, then put the same energy for Rashford then.
Rashford needs to be dropped as well.
Yeah, he needs to be dropped 100%. I think even Ten Hag knows that.
So, but in my opinion, I just don't. I mean, Lindelof is not. He's not the worst thing right now, in my opinion.
I think he's not been good defender. Honestly, he can't even win headers. At least Maguire can win headers.
We've always known that.
We beat up Maguire last season. Yeah, we know that. It's absolutely shocking. But at the moment, Lindelof is not doing a lot of things right. He's not winning headers. His timing is off. He's pressing at the wrong time, and he's letting defenders get way past him, and he cannot clear. For me, that is like defense 101.
I agree with you.
Gone wrong.
I agree with you. We'll start playing Maguire. Maguire's going to make some big mistakes very, very soon. And then who else is going to play? Because that's going to happen.
Okay, so these are the players we have, right? I'm saying don't play Lindelof at left back. I'm saying we must have some other players in the academy, perhaps, that we could give a chance to.
But there's no one else. Play Dalot on the left then.
I think Dalot does well on the right. I think he had a fantastic game on the right. But play him in a stronger position.
Ten Hag had no choice but to play Lindelof at left back. He had no choice.
So could put Amrabat in the middle. So, he didn't have a choice.
He had no choice.
If he keeps having howlers, I'm saying, are you open to the idea of perhaps looking at an academy player to come in left back?
No.
Never.
That's too much pressure on a young kid.
What if he has a fantastic game? What if we bring him for 30 minutes and he has a fantastic game? One half and he does well, better than Lindelof in left back. It doesn't seem to me that Lindelof is
it's like a 1% chance. It's a 1% chance to happen.
So you wouldn't even be open to the idea to try a player against a slightly weaker team?
Man, do you know what it is to play in the Premier League against these weaker teams?
Yeah, but
these boys are being trained to play in the Premier League, aren't they? That's why they're there.
The academy
I believe in the
against these big guys. from is in that they're running
So
down the.
I'm not talking about 16 or 17. I'm talking about academy. You know, you have some quite sturdy,
But we don't have.
well-grown.
But we don't
I don't
have
know. I'm
that,
saying,
though.
is there anyone in the academy
We
that can
don't.
do it?
We don't have anyone right now. That's we don't have anyone.
Kenny, do you know if we've got anyone?
There has to be someone. I mean, if
There's
we
no
look
one.
at it, no, there is someone. When you
No,
look at the
there
under
isn't.
20, I saw the on the 28th, sorry, on the 18th on Saturday, and the left back was all right. I can't remember his name. He was okay.
Is
know,
is
and
is,
but-
is,
but
is
you
he
see,
big?
But
Is
one
he
thing
full
you got
out?
to understand, the pressure in the Premier League is very demanding,
It's-
and especially
yes.
the
Yeah,
team
but-
that is not
It's
is
quite
peaking
physical.
confidence now.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but Tim, we're not saying bring him in and force him to be a number. We're just saying bring him in and let's see. I mean, that's what
Right.
the academy is for. That's what one thing I rate
True.
Louis van Gaal for is that's what he would do in this situation. When Louis van Gaal, that's how Rashford made Rashford.
But we weren't under this kind of pressure though, in that type of situation. That's the thing. You wanna do it when you're not. You don't want to put like right now. The team.
The team. This is not the time to bring in an
This is not the time
academy
to
in.
bring in academy player. This is not
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, Rashford was not supposed to be in the first. He was nowhere near the first team. He only came in because Martial got injured. Now, another manager would have gone, okay, let's play someone else up front and see what they do. But Van Gaal went to the academy and brought in Rashford. Yes, he's not playing well right now, but the rest is history. Just give him a chance. If he doesn't perform well, thank you very much. Or even if he performs well, just to cover injuries,
We've got 15 defenders, by the way, in
left back
academy.
comes back. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Go back to the under 18s and keep developing your education.
We've got 15 defenders in the academy.
I see where you guys are coming from. I just don't think it's
And
the.
they'll come in-
I think it's the
they're
right
coming
time
with
to
hunger.
bring.
They're coming with hunger, nothing to fear, just wanting to. Because look, if you bring in a left back, this is his chance to make it as a professional. He will be giving 140%.
There's pressure on the team right now,
There's pressure on the team.
and bringing a young player
no one
now,
is in this
that's like
argument.
double
No one is
pressure.
wrong. No one is right. They're both right.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
bring a player in, see how it goes. Is this the right time? Might not probably be the right time, especially when a team, if it's a team that is blossoming well and doing well, the leadership
easier,
can
yeah.
So
get
you
him. They could
audition
transfer
him in the cup game. Try him in a cup game.
Yeah, but
See
the
who
next
can
cup
play a
game
left
is
back role in the cup
Newcastle.
game.
You
The next
can
cup game
do
is
that.
Newcastle. That's a big game.
Oh
But
yeah,
they
not
might
against
might
Newcastle.
not play. If they play their first team, then no. But if they play their second team, then yes, give the academy players a
Newcastle
try.
want to win a trophy
There's
this
Will
year. Let's
Fish.
play
I've
the
seen
first
Will
team.
Fish play a few times. He's supposed to be quite good.
Newcastle, I
We've got-
reckon Newcastle probably goes strong in that game because
Remember they beat Man
played
City.
us and we
They
beat
beat
them
City.
in the final.
They beat City.
Yeah, and they beat
Right.
City. Yeah, they're gonna go strong. I think.
Right. Gentlemen, any last words? Who wants to take the last word?
Last word again. How good was Maguire yesterday? I think we need to give him some ratings, right? Because we
he
always
deserves
miss
some
him.
props.
He
Yeah.
deserves some props.
I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah,
An
he
assist,
was good
6.5.
yesterday, and he kept going, and that's the winner as well. He got an assist, so shout out to him.
Ben,
He
what's your
didn't
take?
actually make too many mistakes, did he?
Maguire.
Shall we demote Maguire to the academy team?
Now Maguire had a good game yesterday.
He had a good game, yeah.
He will give him props where credit is due. Yeah, he deserves a good shout out. However, you guys don't be quick to forget the past. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, give him credit yeah, he did well. Kudos, good assist. He did well, but don't be quick to forget the past. If he continues this in next 5 games, then I'll be like, okay, Maguire, now you're back. But for now, just one game.
Yeah.
So nothing is permanent, right? Maguire had something to prove. He's trying to get back into the first team, so he's had a lot of time to think about all these mistakes that he keeps making, and his bad timing and his slow movement. So he had something to prove.
True, but don't forget he doesn't have the pace though.
He doesn't have. He'll never.
Don't
have that
forget,
pace.
he will never. And I guarantee. And watch, we play against a team where they're very quick on the counterattack, and Maguire's 1-on-1. Maguire doesn't have the pace.
Yeah,
we concede. I can see it happening.
Yes.
No, Ben, you have to. That's
standard.
We need to do what we. Yeah, we need to do what Southgate does for England and protect him with Amrabat. That's
So remember, for England, he plays well on the left of three centre backs.
Amrabat and cover him.
So
Yeah, so if we had a good centre back playing in the centre berth, we've got Dalot on the right. Why don't we try that with him on the left? Also, you have to limit his his output in terms of what he can do, because he is a big, strong figure. He can win balls in the air. He can head balls away because he's got the height. Don't leave him as the last man, because he'll always get outrun. And if we need balls sent into the box, he's there as a point man to lay off the ball. So if we limit what he does, I think we can, or compartmentalize it, then we can limit the damage that he also causes.
Yeah,
Play to his strengths. Yeah, play to his strengths.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna Vim, you give us your last word of encouragement going into the international break when we play Sheffield United.
So
again.
I hope the Man United players all start to go through the Man United history and archives and start to, watch all the stuff that we've produced over the years, look at it, what it means. The Busby Babes, the team that went over to Germany, previous managers, the Ferguson era. Look at what this club means, and then know what it means to touch that badge. It's not about the wages; it's about the club. So they all need to go home and do some homework. What it means to play for this club. It's not about working for Goldman Sachs or earning the highest salary in the land. Forget that now. It's not about your profile and your social media status. It's about a simple club that's worked hard and had some great managers to take us where we are. That's what it means to touch that badge.
Vim, thank you very much. That was very nice. Gentlemen, I want to thank the UK crew, Vim and Ken, for joining us.
I was going to say something real quick.
What were you going to say quickly?
Just real quick, just to add to what Vim said. Vim was spot on. And also go with the player is and look at the players that have done it for United, that have played for that badge, that have worked their asses off. I.e., David Beckham, a good documentary, a very good documentary to go watch. I watched it. I mean, what that guy did, what he went through, and the fact that he just kept going, kept fighting. He loved Manchester. Manchester was his club. Manchester United was his club, and always still is. That I just wanted to just mention that David Beckham stuff was really, really good, and it kind of points to, is in fighting for the badge. Fighting is in the history of the club. So that's it.
All right, gentlemen. Brems, I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you very much, representing Houston Red Army. Gentlemen, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We shall see you next week. Thank you very much. Have a nice week, and hopefully we shall see United flying again. Take care and have a nice day. Take care,
glory,
guys.
glory, glory.
Man United.